So we have another tragedy. Our children are dead. And the thing that always happens is happening. People are taking to social media. And we're all sickened by this. We're all saddened by this. With the recent shooting in Parkland. And people are going to social media. And some people are saying the typical things. We need stricter gun laws. Other people are going to combat that and say, no, we don't need stricter gun laws. The issue is not the guns, it's the individual, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go back and forth on this, and some politicians will kind of get stirred up a little bit and look like they're going to make some movement on it. And at the end of the day, a couple of weeks are going to go by, and some shiny new thing is going to take our attention, and nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. We're going to be in the same situation, God forbid, in the next 6 months or a year. There will be another mass shooting, and we'll be doing the same thing, having the same conversations, same outrage, same sickened feeling, while a generation of people grow up believing that this is just the world that they live in. This is just the way it is. And it ought not be the case. So I'm not going to talk about guns. I'm not going to talk about assault rifles versus, regular semi-automatic rifles or scary-looking guns. I'm not going to talk about the Second Amendment. I'm not going to talk about rights. I want to talk about us. I'm speaking specifically to men like I always do, but really this is a message for all Americans. You see, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle that you're on. Everybody wants the same thing. At the end of the day, we all want for this type of thing, for the killing of our children, to never ever happen again. This kind of thing should not happen. But I want to do a bit of a test here with you guys. And I want to ask you to just put yourself in these shoes here. Imagine that you're one of the parents of one of the Parkland kids that survived the shooting. You got the phone call or the text, or you heard some news that there was some kind of incident, and the more you heard, the scarier it got. There's been a shooting. Some kids are injured. Some kids may be dead. You don't know if it's your kid or not. And at the end of the day, you get there and you find out that they're just an emotional wreck, but they're safe. They're alive. Now, you're one of those parents. Your kid has just had a harrowing experience. They've come very close to dying. They've seen their friends be shot, perhaps in front of them. Now, what are you as a parent going to do to make sure that that never happens again, that never ever occurs again to your child? Now, as the wheels are spinning there, the correct answer that every parent should say is, I will do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that never happens to my kid again. Now, let's break this down and see what this looks like. Would you be willing to quit your job? Would you be willing to give up your career, pull your kid out of school and homeschool, if that's what it takes? Would you be willing to go down to a smaller home? Would you be willing to move in with your in-laws for a period of time? Or move across the country? That might be a better option, actually. To get them out of the bad influences, or just to have a big change. Whatever it takes, whatever the situation requires. When you say it takes whatever it takes and you'll do whatever is necessary, are you really willing to do that? Because I guarantee you, this is what's going to happen. The Parkland school is going to open back up. They're going to have counseling services available. They're going to have many classes and lessons being taught on how to be safe in certain situations. The kids there are going to say they want to be with their friends. The parents are going to say the stupidest thing, which is we just want things to go back to normal. And parents all across America and in Parkland eventually, just as with other schools, are going to do the exact same thing that they did before. And not a damn thing is going to change. We say we want one thing. We're disgusted by what's going on. But at the same time, we don't want to make the changes that are necessary in our society, starting with ourselves and our own families, to really see a difference. We want some politicians to come and save the day, which, guys, this is America. We're not designed for politicians to come and save anything. And we've got a track record that shows that they're not very good at doing much anyhow. Let me just help you understand the gravity of the situation here. I want you guys to understand what we have just become, that we've come to just accept as the default way of life in America. We send our children off to a state-run, essentially, education system that is an abysmal failure, and the teachers will be the first ones to tell you this, and the teachers love our kids. The education system is a failure. We send them to a place where police patrol the hallways, and the police cars come and they patrol the parking lot and they make an appearance. Every once in a while we have drug-sniffing dogs that come in. Some schools have metal detectors that you have to go through. And this is what we have come to accept because we have reason to believe, good reason to believe, that at some point our children are going to murder each other. Now, for anybody on the outside looking in, we have just got to be insane to continue with this. This makes no sense at all. I can't think of a greater red flag and a more apparent one than the state of things with our children. That should show us as a society that things are not good. Let's just a quick little list here. Our kids do drugs in school, they rape, they murder, okay, en masse. These things are serious, serious crimes. We have an obesity epidemic. We have an autism epidemic that we still don't really know where it's coming from. We've got our kids on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications like never before. We don't know the long-term effects of those. For crying out loud, people, we've got a growing percentage of our population that can look in the mirror and not know what sex they are. That should be the most natural, default, just sort of thing that happens to a human being. But even that's gotten confusing. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to begin making changes in our own families, in our own lives, and do the things necessary to start making corrections in society? I'll tell you this. You can't have generation after generation after generation of kids being told that they are from some cosmic accident, that they're the near descendants of apes, that they're basically just a higher form of animal in a random universe, and expect them to really value life. The smart ones are not going to. The smart ones who buy into that are going to understand that there's no valuing in life if that's really our existence, if that's reality. You take God out of the family, you take fathers out of the family, you promote all these bad things. I don't want to go into the list of them. You guys can rattle off a number of things. We can't be shocked by this kind of stuff. This is what we've asked for. This is what we've voted for. This is what we've pushed for. Every parent out there is listening to this. And like I said, I'm speaking to you men primarily. But every parent needs to really consider, is the way that you're living life, the way that you're operating your family, the way that you've chosen to educate your kids, is that leading to a society where we're going to see more of the same, or are you part of the change? Are you doing something to make a difference? let's all pray for Parkland. We need to pray for our families and for our society. And then we need action. We need some serious action, man. That's all I got.